Hello everyone, it's Davide here and welcome back to Learning Finance. So in today's video guys, I have to talk about Alibaba stock, Alibaba ticker symbol BABA, because we have just had a couple of hours ago a huge news in terms of the anti-monopoly probe issue that Alibaba was having with the Chinese government since basically a few months ago that has pushed the stock down a lot. We all know that if you are an Alibaba investor, okay, so here's where Ant Group IPO has been cancelled and then the anti-monopoly probe. The stock didn't see the light for now almost 4 months, right? But is this the end? Because that's, in my opinion, a huge piece of news for Alibaba stock. And we are gonna try to understand what that is about, if the probe is officially finished or not. And so what I expect to see in Alibaba in the coming weeks/months, right? Going on in the future. So the only thing I ask you guys as always is another like, it's very important and I thank you for it. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new updates. Let's begin. Alright guys, so this is from, depending on where you are, it's Friday or Saturday in China. It has been released on Saturday. It all depends on your location in the world. However, China slaps Alibaba with 2.8 billion fine in anti-monopoly probe. The fine is in its anti-monopoly investigation of the tech giant, saying it abused its market dominance. The probe's main focus was a practice that forces merchants to choose one of two platforms rather than being able to work with both. Now, we all knew that back then, and this is the main reason of the probe, was this practice done by Alibaba. The company said in a statement it accepted the penalty and will comply with the regulators' determination. The government said choose one policy and others allowed Alibaba to bolster its position in the market and gain unfair competitive advantages. In addition to the fine, which almost amounts to 4% of the company's 2019 revenue, regulators said Alibaba will have to file self-examination and compliance report to the SAMR for 3 years. The company said in a statement it accepted the penalty and will comply with the SAMR's determination. Alibaba said it fully cooperated with the investigation, conducted a self-assessment, and already implemented improvements to its internal system. Now, this, guys, in my opinion, is quite big for the stock because, first of all, the fine itself, 2.8 billion. Now, 2.8 billion for Alibaba, considering what they have done in just the fourth quarter of 2020, it's nothing, okay? We had worst fines done to big tech, like for example Google, by the European Union, okay? So this is not even from the US one. They have been fined $5 billion back in 2018. Compared to that, it's not even, it's just half of it, okay? So for Alibaba, this is nothing. Now, what's important about it is not to focus on the fine, okay? Because the fine is record-breaking, is the highest one ever done in China to a company. So, yes, it's a big fine, but it's not as big, first of all, for Alibaba's revenue. They can pay it without any problem. And then if it's the end of the probe, okay, so in terms of this anti-monopoly pressure, right, because the market, remember, what the market doesn't like is uncertainty. So, I also pointed out that in basically previous videos by saying that one of the main concerns for me was to see how this probe would have ended up. Because we don't know whether the Chinese government would have done something more than just a fine, maybe sell some divisions of Alibaba. So I was very curious to see how that was going to end, because that, in my opinion, actually is important also for the future of the Chinese stock market. And in my opinion, if this is the end, it ended up very, very great. In my opinion, even if that they made it looks like it's a bad news, in my opinion, is one of the best news that we had on Alibaba stock over the last 4 months. So I'm very happy to see that actually, because in previous videos we have also analyzed it. This choose one of the two platforms. Yes, Alibaba made more revenue by using it, but it didn't make all the revenues, okay, by using it. I mean, if Alibaba stops to use this practice, it won't stop to grow, right? It's not that the 30% growth that we have seen in 2020 is just all because they choose one of the two platforms, right? So it's not about that. It will not have a so big impact on the future growth of Alibaba. This is why if we lift the pressure given by the probe, if this is the end, okay, just a fine and that's it, it's probably the moment where Alibaba stock will see the light again. And this is why I'm very happy to see that this is the valuation that I have done, very conservative valuation that I have done on Alibaba. And I showed you how the today's market, okay, so the price today, it looks like now the market is closed, but seems like it was $223, right? The last price of Friday. We have that the market at the moment is pricing even below the 9% growth of Alibaba until 2025 and then a 6% growth until 2028. So this is what the market is pricing in today's price. But on average, in terms of revenue growth, Alibaba in the last 5 years has done a 47% growth, right? So if we take away just, I don't know, maybe 2018 is too much crazy, 73%, but on average, analysts are expecting a 30%, okay? So 29% growth moving forward. And my valuation, all the three scenarios, even the bull case scenario, I took maximum 23% growth, okay, for Alibaba stock. So that's very conservative. I'm not even going near to what Alibaba can do. Another conservative part is that the perpetual growth that I put after 2028 is just 3%. I am saying here that Alibaba will grow after 2028 at just a 3% growth rate. Now, I don't know how do you see that likely. Very likely it is going to be higher than that. But never mind, even with that valuation, we have that the today's average fair price for the company is $336, basically $337 per share. That's the price today. It means that is almost 34% undervalued, with an upside potential of 51% to actually just come back to the fair price, okay? Which, by the way, once again, in my opinion, is very conservative fair price. A more realistic one would be near $350 or even $360, right? So never mind, even with this conservative scenario, is 51% upside just to reach the fair price. Then you obviously have the future growth that will come. So if that is the end of the pressure from the Chinese government into Alibaba, so let's say they pay the fine, that's great, and they comply with their rules, right? They file the report, as they say, for 3 years in a row. They stop to do choose to one practice, but even if they do all of that, do you think that the overall growth rate of Alibaba will decrease as much to justify a price which is even below this one? I mean, do you think that complying with the government rules will push the future growth rate of Alibaba below 9% in 2021, 2022, and moving forward to a 6%? Or do you think that this is exaggerated? So, in my opinion, this was all because of fear, pressure from the probe itself. So you understand that if this is the end of the probe, guys, it's a massive positive news for Alibaba, and We can see bright times in the next weeks/months, in my opinion, moving forward. In terms of the graph, guys, we are gonna see how on Monday the market will react to that news. We see how Alibaba on average has really kept these 200, 220 areas a huge support. I have always told you that this positive trend line coming on from basically back in 2019 was very important for Alibaba price to stay above it, right? And it looks like that it did it. Now we will see on Monday how the price will do, but on average I think that this is a positive news for Alibaba. It will ease lots of pressure from the Chinese side on the company, so I expect to see a positive move for the market. And overall here, remember this green figure over there, if we just extend it, right, the bottom of it is actually the $240 level, which is here a strong resistance for Alibaba that kept the stock below it for the last month. If that can be the end of the probe, the price can actually move above that level, right? That will declare, or very likely will increase the likelihood of this being a double bottom, right? So obviously, this is all futuristic stuff. We are gonna see how the market will react. So that's, in my opinion, what everyone was waiting for. Remember that there is also, and still, the problem with the delisting, so it's not a completely free out of pressure moment here for Alibaba and Chinese stocks on average, but from the Chinese side, if this is the end, in my opinion, is very positive. I'm happy to see that, guys. I hope you find the video interesting and leave me down a comment with what you think. Subscribe to the channel, and as always, guys, have a wonderful day.